The Kekekri populace roared in unison, celebrating their victory against the human United Nations. Every holoprojector was transmitting the devastation of the human world of Sirius Prime. The Kekekri superweapon, the Calore, or as it was known in Galactic Common, the biological atomizer, had sent a shockwave of neutrons across the planet's surface, turning every piece of biomatter into ash. The broadcast showed humans running and being vaporized, crying and trying to hide like the primitive apes they were. This display was meant to prove the superiority of the Kekri Empire and force the inferior species to grovel beneath their feet. However, in the following weeks, no capitulation came from the human United Nations, nor was there any condemnation of the devastation of Sirius Prime. The human leadership remained eerily silent. Maybe they were in shock from their absolute defeat. After all, humans were still dealing with a fragmented state government despite their ascension to interstellar colonization. Maybe they were experiencing internal strife among the human nations. That was the first sign we ignored. The second sign was the mass exodus of the human population inhabiting several worlds of the galactic community, all returning to their homeworld, Terra. But the final sign we ignored was perhaps our biggest failure. Not only did we ignore it, but we also laughed, believing it to be a sign of human weakness, the erasure of the hyperlanes connecting to all human systems. This incredible feat was on par with the greatest civilizations ever to grace the galactic stage. Yet we were so drunk on our hubris that we failed to realize the implications. It meant the humans were more technologically advanced than anyone else in the current galactic community. The galactic community chastised us for our barbaric actions during the war, with some members going as far as saying we had awoken a sleeping giant. Once again we laughed, blinded by our self-righteous arrogance, calling those members cowards, especially when some attempted to send diplomatic missions to Terra to broker a true peace. We promised those members the same fate as Sirius for such an act of defiance. It turns out they were wiser than us. It was a normal day when every holoprojector in the galaxy stopped their usual program to broadcast a message from the humans. Instead of the usual emblem of the human United Nations, a new emblem appeared, a golden eagle with 12 stars around it and the human letters SPQTE below. Then a human male appeared. His head was shaven and his brown eyes were piercing. His skin wasn't as dark as some humans got, but it wasn't the lightest. It was somewhere in between their pigmentation levels and patterns. "People of the galaxy," he began, "my name is Augustus. I am the Emperor of the Senate and the people of Terra. In the wake of the war with the vermin known as the Kekri, we, the people of Terra, underwent a shift. We realized that we could no longer be divided amongst ourselves when fighting enemies as ruthless as the vermin. As such, the world agreed, and instead of a single nation taking over, we all abdicated and revived one of the greatest empires of our past. My broodmate snarled every time he called us vermin, shouting insults and death threats towards the holoprojector. However, I felt something was terribly wrong. A heavy sense of dread was setting over me. I got up and opened a window, and in the sky, I could see a new bright star in the distance. Today is the 2-year anniversary of the massacre of Sirius Prime. That day, our eyes were opened to the reality of war with other galactic powers. We were so focused on our peacekeeping agenda and our own rules of war that we did not consider that other powers did not care about such rules. We were wrong, and we paid the price. This brings me to my next point. To every power in the galaxy, understand that what we are about to do is not an act of revenge, nor is it born out of hatred for the Kekri. We spent the last year and a half debating this topic with several global referendums and Senate votes. The people in the Senate of Terra have declared the Kekri to be a parasite, a vermin species that exalts in destruction and misery. As such, we have voted that the Geneva Conventions do not apply to them and have marked them for extermination. I felt a chill travel down my body as the star in the sky kept glowing brighter. The human's voice felt otherworldly. We have initiated the Nemesis Protocol 30 minutes ago and have begun shattering every Kekri world apart from their capital. To those inhabiting those worlds, I hope you find solace in each other before the end, because you will find none after. And to the K'Krai leadership, do not worry. On our path towards the stars, we have learned the importance of preservation of species, even those considered parasitic. Your capital world will be reaped, with 10,000 individuals being transported to a preservation station orbiting the Erebus black hole. There, every possible need your species might have, from environment to nutrition, will be met. The world will then be quantum shifted, existing in a locked temporal loop for all of eternity. I turned towards my broodmates, whose faces were twisted in horror as the reality washed over them. Outside, I could hear the commotion and the cries of panic. I couldn't help but feel empty, wondering if this was how the humans we vaporized had felt just before their deaths. The glow was now so bright that it outshined our star. "For Sirius Prime," said the human emperor on the hollow projector. As I ran towards my broodmates to hug them, the galaxy changed. Waves of the new era rippled throughout the galaxy, through every star, every black hole, every nebula and comet. Every planet quaked under the awakening as the heralding light reached them, reminding every soul that the galaxy had entered a new age, the age of humanity. I looked up toward the colorful night sky from my balcony, my eyes drinking in the wonder of the cosmos. A magnificent frame for the first outburst of light, the herald that took a decade to arrive, carrying a message every sentient spacefaring species already knew the meaning of. This was the light emanating from the K'Krai system, previously a border system of the K'Krai Empire with our civilization, the High Veer Republic. This light, however, was not coming from the two stars of that system. It was coming from HFY Prime, the only habitable planet in that system. It was the light of an event the galaxy was now calling the Nasia, the Day of Retribution. A decade ago, some species, especially those targeted by the K'Krai expansionist agenda, celebrated the event, some making it a holy day. Our planet did not celebrate it. Our Council of Elders called it a barbaric act, no matter how violent or dangerous the K'Krai were. This view was shared among many members of the Galactic community. Despite the apprehension many held regarding denouncing the actions of the newly formed SPQT, or as it was informally called, the Human Imperium, the Human Emperor did not threaten those who held those views. We understand that many will oppose our actions regarding the K'Krai, claiming we had no right to judge an entire species. The voice of Emperor Augustus sounded warm and inviting. Even his predator-like physiology, which all humans shared, seemed compassionate. Within our own forums, a significant percentage of our people opposed it, but in the end, the majority decided. I know some will call our actions vengeful for the 1,343,000,000 humans that inhabited Sirius Prime at the moment of the massacre. I will not deny that grief still permeates our hearts, and that some do hate the K'Krai. Many of us lost family on that day, myself included. My brother and his family were tragically taken from us, along with countless others, and I will never forget it. But we must move forward together. The speech was generally well received among the galactic powers, with a few remaining steadfast in their condemnation of the SPQT. The representative of the VAR had spoken after the Emperor and condemned the genocidal actions of the humans, but showed a willingness to re-establish diplomatic relationships after the humans agreed to at least listen to talks of reparations and releasing the 10,000 K'Krai imprisoned in the preservation station. The Emperor agreed to participate in the talks and announced he would be participating personally. The location chosen was none other than my homeworld, Araria Nii, at the request of the humans, which sent the local population into a suspicion frenzy. The sector governor had to issue a formal declaration of trust, which did not do much to ease the tensions, being a member of the sector government. I would be participating in the meeting with the arrival of the human emperor scheduled for tomorrow. The morning of the human royal arrival started like any other, with our star accompanied by the Nasia glow in the blue sky. The sector government team was sitting around a table discussing the plans for the visit before the negotiations when the intercom rang, and the voice of the Araria spaceport master spoke. "No hyperlane signal detected. Neither have any of our outposts picked up any signal coming from human-controlled space. Governor Elder Prince Zul thanked the spaceport master for the update. I could see the fur on his back ruffle. He was concerned the agreement was a sham and that the humans were planning an attack. Our system was 440 light-years away from Terra, and the journey through the hyperlane should take approximately 16 hours. Yet no reports of any convoy from human space had been received. How would they even travel? The question left my mouth without me realizing, and the whole room stared at me, triggering my fight-or-flight response, which took considerable willpower to overcome. "That is a pertinent question, Moru," said the governor with a nod. "The humans erased the hyperlanes to their systems, and they haven't been restored." Suddenly, the intercom sprang to life again, and the spaceport master's voice trembled. Sir, there has been a gravitational signature detected." "Where from?" asked the governor. "Here, it's everywhere." The uncertainty was replaced with fear. The world seemed to stop for the briefest of moments. Everyone looked up towards the sky as the blue void rippled faster and faster. I felt my heart skip a beat, not out of nervousness but wonder. This wasn't an attack. It didn't feel like one. This was something else. Suddenly a ring appeared, sending one final wave through space, fading into infinite nothingness. Through the ring, we could see another set of stars in the distance and one planet. I immediately knew what planet it was. I had seen plenty of it over the last few years. Terra, home of the humans. However, it was not entirely as it appeared in the holo projectors. This Terra had two artificial rings constructed around it. One ring, contained within the other, appeared to serve mostly as a planetary spaceport with several dockyards. The second ring, with a circumference at least 10 times bigger than the inner ring, appeared to have seas and land on its inner surface, with lights dotting these islands or continents. The outside of this ring appeared to serve as an aggressive defensive barrier with cannons and other weapons. The view of the marvelous planet was suddenly obstructed by a massive ship coming through the gate. It was an elegant vessel with completely black armor adorned in a multitude of golden botanical overlays. In stark white, the words T.I. Juno in the standard human alphabet stood out. Good thing I had studied the human alphabet and languages in the years before. Wait, how could I read it from this far? The intercom rang again, and the spaceport master's voice, almost stuttering, said, "A wormhole has been detected, and subsequently a gargantuan vessel traversed it." "How massive?" asked the governor. "Our sensors indicated 70 kilometers in length, and it's emitting a power signature unlike anything we have ever seen," said the spaceport master. "And it appears they're hailing us. Keep us connected as they contact you," ordered the governor. "Greetings, Auraria Spaceport. This is Admiral Chen Xiao of the Tian Imperial vessel Juno. We are transporting His Imperial Majesty Augustus on a diplomatic visit to Auraria." "Permission to dock," said a smooth voice in perfect Galactic common. "Greetings, Admiral Xiao. Welcome to Auraria," responded the spaceport master. "This is Spaceport Master Jeweler. I would love to permit you to dock, but it appears your vessel is quite larger than the spaceport, so you will have to gravitationally anchor yourselves to our moon." "Understood, Master Jeweler. We shall do as you request. We will be sending our administrative staff over to the spaceport to handle the bureaucracy, and in the meantime, the diplomatic mission will make its way towards the surface of Auraria." "Where should they land?" "Hello, this is Elder Prince Zul, Sector Governor of the Auraria Sector. We shall send you the coordinates for the diplomatic disembarkment platform," interjected the governor. "Very well, Elder Prince Zul. We'll be awaiting your instructions." A few hours later, the entire sector governmental team was standing by the diplomatic platform as a black and golden shuttle gently floated down. As it made landfall and the ramp slid down, I got my first-hand look at humans. Quite taller than us, the humans lacked our fur or tail. They also only had 4 limbs with 2 upper limbs and 2 lower ones. Their hair and pigmentation, however, was quite varied. Of the security detachment that exited the shuttle before the diplomatic team, there were 3 yellow-haired humans, 2 orange-haired ones, and 5 brown and black-haired ones. I noticed the yellow and orange-haired ones had very light pigmentation of the skin, while the others had darker tones. All of them were using some sort of eye protection. Finally, after the security team formed two lines, the human Emperor Augustus left the shuttle. He was even smaller than the guards, but his posture was undoubtedly that of someone wielding absolute power. His brown eyes quickly darted all over the platform in a fraction of a moment before finally resting on the sector governmental team, sending chills up my back. From what I could tell from the pheromones emanating from the rest of the team, the reaction was shared by everyone else. Those were the eyes of an apex predator, a hunter. He walked towards the team and bowed his head, placing his hand on the nape of his neck in a formal Villar greeting. I am honored to be here under the guidance of the elders and everyone who came before. I am Augustus, formerly Michael, and I'm here on behalf of humanity. I am all of them, and they are all of me. His voice was smooth, almost like a singing bird, but that is not what caught us off guard. He spoke in our language, Haran, and his accent was slightly foreign. My eyes focused more on the Emperor, analyzing every aspect of his being. He was wearing a white cloth vest with gold embroidery and white pants, almost resembling a military uniform. On his left hand, he wore two rings, one a simple golden band, the other an ornate ring with an eagle holding the letters SPQT. Before anyone could respond, the Emperor looked up and smiled as the light of our star bathed his skin. Your star, Araria, holds an exceptional meaning for us humans. We call it Polaris, the North Star. It helped navigators centuries ago travel the seas, and now it helps us as we explore this unending cosmic sea. The governor smiled and cleared his throat before speaking in the human English language. Welcome, Emperor Augustus. I am Elder Prince Zul. We are the ones who are honored by your visit, and we appreciate your dedication to diplomacy by learning our language. I am sure that as we advance, we will be able to prevent the mistakes of the past. The Emperor nodded and approached the governor, holding out his hand. However, a loud yell echoed through the platform before the governor could grab the Emperor's hand. On high alert, the Imperial Guard grabbed their weapons, but not fast enough. An Aven, a species known for their battle-oriented society, was diving down, holding an energy rifle and pointing it directly at the Emperor. "Murderer!" shouted the Aven, pulling the trigger and sealing the fates of millions in one fell swoop. This concludes our tale of humanity's relentless pursuit of justice. If this story of revenge and resilience intrigued you, show your support by leaving a like. Comment with the word justice if you believe in standing up against oppression. And don't forget to subscribe if you love epic tales of courage and retribution. Your engagement fuels our passion to share more extraordinary stories. Thank you for joining us on this cosmic journey.